Today's guest is Kesi Irvin. Now, if Carpe Diem were a person, she would be it. Kesi is the creator behind Kesi To and Fro, a travel brand that inspires people to travel the world and live life outside the box. Now, Kesi is a force, from running track at an Ivy League university and earning one of the world's most coveted degrees at Wharton Business School, to leaving behind a career in finance, to now traveling full-time for nearly a decade. Kesi has turned her adventures into a mission to help others create their own unconventional paths. In this episode, we talk about what it really means to take the leap, how travel can shift your worldview, how solo travel can be social, and how to design a life you don't need a vacation from. Welcome to the podcast, Kesi. I'm so pumped to have you on. I mean, I have a lot to say because we have so much in common too, and you have inspired so many around the world. But I just want to start by introducing the great traveler, Kesi Irvin. And you have your social media and your blog. Why don't you introduce a little bit about your background?
Yeah, definitely. So as you said, we do have a little bit of a similar story. So my name's Kesi, and I started traveling back in 2015, the same as you guys started traveling, the same month too, I think. I started June 28th as my travel anniversary.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's like the same, almost the same day.
And we also have a little connection because we both ran track at Penn. But yeah, I've been traveling around the world for 10 years. I used to work in finance in New York City, and I quit with the plan to travel for 1 year, but that 1 year never ended. And here we are 10 years later. But most recently, I finally just got a home a week ago. So I just moved to Mexico City. So it's my first time having a home in 10 years as well.
Wow, in 10 years. I mean, you've called the world your home. You've gone from the Ivy League to Wall Street to the world, and now you're actually choosing a place to call home, which I feel like is a big deal as a nomad.
But what inspired you to take the year trip or the planned year trip?
Yeah, so what inspired me was I knew I had this wanderlust, and working corporate America, having 2 weeks vacation just really wasn't enough time to explore this wanderlust. Like I loved international travel. So I talked with one of my mentors at the time, and he was like, yeah, you should like take a career break, but do it sooner rather than later, because the longer you wait, the more things get in the way. Like maybe you get a relationship, or maybe you keep getting promoted. Like the longer you wait, just the harder it is to leave. So what inspired me was just I wanted to see the world, and I would regret it if I did not take a career break.
Was there anything that like was stopping you before you went? Like, you know, we sat down and we're like, oh, we got to make sure we cover our mortgage. We got to do this, that. Or were you just like, I'm just going to go?
Yeah, I'm a risk averse person. So I planned this out for 2 years. Like I was saving money. I was living in New York City, figuring out how I could save money for my around the world trip. I was telling people, yeah, I'm going to quit my job to travel, because back then it wasn't really like as popular. People were looking at me like, what is she talking about? Casey's crazy. My parents were like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. You're not going to leave like your good job. But once I made my decision, like I knew I wanted to do it. So the biggest, I guess, barrier for me was just making sure I had the correct finances in place to fully enjoy like that 1 year career break. And I saved up $30,000 to take that 1 year career break.
And that's a big deal to be able to live in New York City and save that money. What were the type of, what did you have to give up to save that money?
Yeah. Once you have a goal in mind, I always think it's a lot easier to budget, because if you don't have a goal, you're spending money here and there. But like for me, it's like I could either like go out and like go have like this expensive dinner with my friends, or I can stay home, cook something that's more cheap, and then I know I'll have a better meal in Thailand, for example. So like when I have this goal in mind, it's a lot easier to figure out where I can cut my expenses. So I really looked at every single aspect of my life to figure out where I could cut down, because yeah, New York City is expensive. But like, yeah, having the goal of travel is like, okay, I could buy this coffee, or I could save this money and buy a coffee in like Peru.
And that coffee in New York City that costs, $8 to $10, that $8 to $10, I should say, goes way further in countries like Thailand or Peru.
Yeah.
And I think when you start to see that around the world, it can help put things in perspective. But one big thing is this jump from work to travel, and then for that to become work. I mean, you have this goal in mind and it's hard to get it out of your head, but it takes a level of bravery and trust in oneself. Where do you think that comes from in your life? Do you think that came up over, when you were growing up? Was there someone that instilled that in you? Tell me more about that bravery and where it comes from.
Yeah, something I think that's like important to mention is I am very like lucky and privileged that I had the opportunity to even have this choice to like leave my job to travel. I think I'm kind of living like my parents' biggest dream in the sense that like being like Black American, like my parents, they would never have the option to like to do what I'm doing. For them, it was about breaking barriers. It was like they were proving themselves, getting these jobs. And like, I think the most beautiful thing that my parents gave me was the choice. If I wanted to go that path and do corporate America, make good money, like I had that choice, but I also had the choice to kind of break free and live a non-traditional lifestyle without feeling that pressure of having to like prove something or break those barriers. So one my family life was gave me the confidence to do the decisions that I want to do. But I also never pictured that this would be how my life turned out. I had my first internship at 16. I was working in New York City at 16. I interned at Morgan Stanley for 5 summers. I always pictured my life as like growing up, I was going to be the main breadwinner. I was going to have a stay-at-home husband. I went to Wharton. Like I was very like money mindset, and that's kind of how I envisioned my life. But I ended up not getting a full-time offer from my internship at Morgan Stanley, which probably was the best thing that could happen. And when I transitioned into a different role in corporate America that had a good work-life balance, that's when I started to realize, like, wait, this life thing I kind of like. Maybe I should like experience more of this like life. Like, it doesn't always have to be about like work and making money, and like that's what success means. So like once I took a break away from that, that's when I was like, okay, let me see this life thing more.
Yeah, I think there's this evolution where you go to college and it's like you got to get a job and you got to work and you got to accomplish, and that's you have to earn money. Like you have to make a living to some level. But then there's a lot of people, especially who step into this world, who have a realization like, okay, like I don't need those things. Like having experiences and time is much more valuable and be a much more fulfilling life. So how can I balance the two and take those steps and that risk and those trips? And so it's always a beautiful thing to see. And then it's like amazing when you meet people like that, you just connect on a different level. So it's always inspiring to see people do that and to be able to break free and to live a life that's, now you're in Mexico City. So how did you end up on Mexico City?
Yeah. It's different. Like there's different parts of the world where I enjoy maybe like being an additional nomad. But I chose Mexico City one because I really want to immerse myself in Spanish, learn the language. I love the food culture in Mexico City. It's a huge city, so there's so much to do. It brings a lot of people. Like the people that Mexico City attracts, I really enjoy. And also it's a good flight hub. That's important for me to be able to like fly in and out of. Because even though I'm going to be based here, I'm still traveling a lot. I'm still going to be in 5 continents in the next 5 months. So
wow.
But it's nice to have a base somewhere, for someplace for my stuff to be.
Yeah. So I'm curious, when it comes to the evolution of your blogging, did that start out when you started traveling? Like, was the blog your vision, or was it just a way to, update people on your travels, or how did that come about?
Yeah. So when I started my blog, it purely was just for like friends and family to see like, hey, look at me. I'm like taking a 1-year career break. Follow along on my journey. And then like Instagram became more popular, so I started like posting a little bit more on Instagram. But I never really took like my blogging seriously for the first 5 years. Like the first 5 years, I was purely just, I kind of called myself a professional hobo. uh,
I guess we were
I,
that. We were professional hobos at some point. Yeah.
yeah, because I was learning how to sustain travels for living on a budget. I was spending around $10,000 a year. Um, Learning that you could be wealthy in different ways. Even though I wasn't financially wealthy, I was wealthy with the connections I made with people. So, especially in your 20s, it's a lot easier. People are like, come stay with me. I'm like, okay. So I had a global network of friends. Um, so that kind of helped. But then when the pandemic hit, my summer job where I made that like 10 grand was canceled. I'm like, uh-oh, how do I make money now? And that's kind of when I'm like, maybe I should take my blogging more seriously, and more opportunities started to come. So I think the biggest thing is just like, I trust myself. I know I'm smart. Um, I guess the way it really started was I had someone I met in Uganda when I was backpacking there. He reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, I'm opening up this gorilla lodge. Can you help me market it?" He's like, "Actually, can you bring people here?" I'm like, I can try to bring people. Like I live off $10,000 a year. I'm not sure if people are going to pay $3,000 to come on a tour and follow me somewhere.
Yeah.
But I advertised it on my Instagram and it sold out within that first week. So that's when I started to get confidence in doing this. And then I had a company for Antarctica reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, can you bring some people to Antarctica? If you bring 15 people, we'll give you a free spot and some commission." I'm like, Antarctica? Who's going to pay this much money to go to Antarctica? And then I had 63 people come with me. So that's when I was like, okay, wait, maybe I have something here. So I work full time for myself. I have my brand Kesi to and fro and follow the fro tours. Um, and yeah, I prioritize living life, and now I think I'm in my mindset where I'm ready to like prioritize finally, like, okay, maybe I want to make some money. So yeah, it's been cool getting more and more into the blogging world.
Yeah.
So that first trip, you had Uganda and Antarctica. I mean, there's got to be some stress and headaches of like when people signed up, but now you actually have to do it. Like, how was that first journey? Were there any hiccups? Did it go smoothly, or was it like did you realize like, oh, this is something I can really do? I mean, obviously it is because now you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, with Uganda, it was just for me magical to be able to bring people to one of my favorite parts of the world. And it was a smaller group. We really bonded, and like it was also during it was during the pandemic, so there was like that was kind of stressful, like figuring out like COVID tests and like things like that. But no, it was beautiful to see, and it was also just beautiful to see like the impact we were able to make on the local economies in Uganda.
Yeah.
So it was cool. And then Antarctica, that was way bigger than I expected. Oh, hi.
Baby wants to join.
Yeah, come join. And yeah, for Antarctica, it was just like no one has seen something like that before, with 63 like younger people who like to have a little bit of fun. We all dressed up in penguin onesies. Like our group is still being talked about. We like did the polar plunge naked. Like we.
How much was it a person?
Awesome.
So that one I found like a pretty good deal. Like on average, that trip was around 7,000 to 8,000 per person.
With flights or without flights?
Without flights. Without flights. So that was during the pandemic year. So since we got a little bit of a better deal. But yeah, so it was. I think I generated almost half $500,000 in revenue for the company I partnered with, which I'm just like, wait, me? Okay.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. And now you are leading trips around the world.
Yes. So I still lead trips to Antarctica. I'm hosting my third one this November. I'm planning a fourth one over New Year's Eve. Not this New Year's Eve, next New Year's Eve. I have a trip to visit a hunter-gatherer tribe in the Amazon. We're going like deep in the jungle. And that will be like just to learn from the indigenous tribe there and like see how a hunter-gatherer tribe, how they do, like immerse ourselves. I have a trip to El Salvador in January with Reroute Travel, which is like educational tourism company. but yeah, so I've been expanding the trips, and I really, really love doing the group trips because I think as long with travel, like my passion in life is connections. That's probably why I love to travel. I love connecting with people, places, and like having these group trips. I'm getting to connect people who become like best friends. They get to meet people in these like big bucket list adventures. So I absolutely love it.
It sounds like solo travel can be so social. I feel like a lot of people are afraid, they want to go, but I don't have anyone to go with. And I don't want to go on my own because I'm scared. What would you say to the person, the young woman in her 20s that wants to go, but is scared of going and scared of trying it on her own?
Yeah, it's completely okay to be scared, but I think that's the beauty of getting out of your comfort zone. Like when you get out of your comfort zone, that's when you're living, right? So it might be a little bit uncomfortable at first, like maybe you're eating by yourself. But what I love about solo travel, it forces you to meet people. So as you said, it actually is quite more social because you don't really want to just be there like by yourself. You're probably more likely to like engage in a conversation with maybe the bartender across from you, or maybe like like in your hostel, maybe you're going to talk to someone. If you're in your 20s, go to a hostel. It's so social. Like people go there to meet people. So there's definitely different avenues to find your community while you're traveling, and solo travel is very popular in different parts of the world.
Now, have you found that you have a community all around the world now? Is there a place that you continuously go back to that feels like home?
Um, I go back to so many places. uh, Places that kind of resonate with me are Berlin. It's my vibe. I love it. Budapest. I spent a good amount of time in Budapest during the pandemic when we couldn't really travel, so that like feels like home to me. Which is like Budapest was an interesting place because I found a Black community in Budapest, which in Hungary, and like that's like one of the more whiter nations. But
Yeah.
it's funny how you can find these different communities around the world, and I had a really good Black community in Budapest.
Wow.
Medellin, Colombia. I spent a couple months there, so that feels good. Tulum, Mexico, Mexico City. Those are kind of like my hubs. And East Africa, my favorite place that I love in the world, Lamu Island in East Africa. I can go there. It's such a small island. I'll return after 4 years. People still remember me. They say hi. So yeah, I
Wow,
love
that's
that
so.
place.
That.
And we have a pho place in Berlin,
Oh, yeah. Oh, what's the
Ooh.
name of it? I got to get it for you.
but we'll get it
was
for you.
so good. We went back multiple times when we were in Berlin. We're like, let's just go back to the same place.
Yes.
What, I mean, in addition to the social skills that you've obviously had and developed over the years to network, what other emotional skills do you think you've developed through travel?
Yeah, one, patience. Um, I have patience. Like when you go to like different country, like something I realized, I was with my parents recently in Portugal and like hanging out with some of their friends, and like we're going to a restaurant. I forget how sometimes Americans can like be a little bit more impatient. Like they want their like server to come like right away, and like they want their bill right away. So like experiencing different cultures. Some cultures are just tranquilo, pole pole, like, and I appreciate that. Like I don't need to be in a rush. So patience is one thing. Um, Being like open-mindedness and being non-judgmental. Because a lot of times you could be in a different environment that could be very different culturally from you, but I can't really be there and like impose my Western values or like my Western opinions. Like I just like I'm there to like kind of observe how these people live in their life and like, okay, this is what's working for them. That's cool. So I think it definitely helps with open-mindedness. As you said, like communication skills, because even if you don't know the same language as someone, you find ways to get by. You find ways to connect with someone. I love not speaking the same language as someone. Like I love being in places like South Korea or Japan or China, where I'm like I'm completely lost, but people like we still share this energy between people, which I enjoy. There's I think there's so many benefits to long-term travel. I think if someone has the opportunity, they should like go away for like 1 month, 3 months, 1 year without any responsibility besides immersing yourself in a different culture. I think that's super beneficial, especially from like a corporate perspective too. I think it'd be great for more Americans to take some type of career break.
Yeah, I think the one thing that, I mean, we kind of learned it from the Rolf Potts vagabonding, but the idea of like that idea seems so scary to so many people. Like, but if I leave my job, I mean, I'm going to miss out on, and they'll make a list of things. But if you look backwards and you go, okay, what happened for the past 3 months, 6 months that would have changed your career? And most people say nothing. You know, a few people at the time might have just gotten a promotion, but most people, no, nothing has happened. And so if you said, hey, if you go to your company and you say, hey, I want to leave for 3 months, most of the time they're going to figure out a way to make it work. Because if you're a good employee, they don't want to spend the time recruiting someone else. And so it's going to be more cost effective for them to say, all right, well, let's figure out a way to backfill you for this temporary time and then come back. I know when I gave my 2 weeks notice, like I remember my boss being like, so there's nothing to get you to stay? And I was like, no. And he's like, okay. Like, so that conversation ended pretty quickly. But then it also made me realize like, well, what could I have been getting paid, or what could I have been getting? And even like the days leading up to my final day, he was like, you know, keep in touch because you never know. He's like, I could be working for you one day or whatever. And, you know, I kind of was like, the guy was very nice and polite, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't think my career path is going to come back this way. Like, I think it's going somewhere else. But I didn't know. Now I'm curious, when we left, I felt very uncomfortable for like almost 2 years. Like I would have, I don't want to call them nightmares, but like dreams where I was like, I needed to go to work, or dreams where like, I didn't, and even then in my daily life, like I didn't feel comfortable in my skin. I felt like I needed to go do something. Did you have any moments like that of just like this new career path? Like when did you feel comfortable? When did you not feel comfortable through this journey?
Yeah. So for me, I would say at the 4 year mark, that's when I was finally like, okay, just traveling to travel is kind of, I need something else now.
Okay.
I need something to work on. So maybe 4 years took a while, but I was also in my 20s, you know, 20s was like, ooh, having fun. But yeah, after 4 years, it's like traveling is great. It's beautiful. It's amazing, but it's tiring. And without having something like to use my brain and to like, I just wanted something. So that's also why I wanted to take my blogging more seriously and get more business minded. So yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
and then like you were also speaking about like this nervousness. When I was first starting off, taking my blogging more seriously, you definitely have imposter syndrome, right? It's like,
Yeah.
can I do this? Like, I don't have any stability right now. Like, when's my next paycheck coming? And I did have like a lot of nervous energy maybe for like a year. But then once you just like kind of drop it, like I think the biggest thing is confidence. If you have confidence in yourself, like then that brings a lot. And I know as I said, I know I'm smart. Opportunities will come if I take the time to dedicate and find the motivation to get things done, things will get done. So yeah, I can work for someone else or I can work for myself. Yeah, imposter syndrome for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's definitely what I had for a long, long time.
Yeah, it's also your first foray into entrepreneurship, and you're happening to do it without a home base. You're on the go. Like there's a lot of moving parts here. And I think that innate trust in yourself is something that comes up in a lot of entrepreneurs that we meet and travelers, where I might not know where I'm going, but I know I'll be able to figure it out when I get there or along the way. You know, like you have that inner trust and that intrinsic motivation that will take you there.
And there's the fear of like, well, what, you know, I'm staking my life, my career path on myself. It's so easy to take the normal route and be like, no, I'm going to get a job. This is what I'm supposed to do. But that you sacrifice so much, sacrifice lifetime, a lot of options, you know, you cap yourself on the upside. But there's also with that fear, I don't think we really did that. We did this by accident, but like the stoic practice of like living as cheaply as possible. And that it basically goes to like, you know, you live in like the cheapest clothes, you eat like beans and rice, and you see how bad life is if I, you know, hit quote bottom.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've been there. We've lived on, and you probably have as well, where you live off a few bucks a day. And it's like, okay, we've seen the bad side okay, now and we're not afraid of it.
I would even challenge that's not bad. You realize how little you need and how this excess in the United States or in Western civilization in general, it tends to exist. And I think you realize like all that stuff is unnecessary. And when it comes down to it, doesn't add to your happiness. You know, there's like a minimum income, I think, of happiness, but also when you start to rework your idea of what success means. Like I can only imagine, why don't you tell me what would 15-year-old Kesi versus, mid-20s versus now, how would you define success and how would it differ throughout those decades?
Completely different versions of success. 15-year-old Kesi, success is making a lot of money, having a big old house, having a family. Like that was success for 15-year-old Kesi. 25-year-old Kesi, I don't think she really knew what success was yet. I think 25-year-old Kesi was like figuring it out. And now 35-year-old Kesi, success is, I think, to your point, what is happiness, right? Maybe I'm not making as much money as like my colleagues. Like I'm 35 now. So maybe I'm not making as much money as fellow people who I went to university with. But the amount of like time I have is something I value. And I'm generally a very happy person. So my version of success right now is getting some stable income, and I'm only taking care of myself. That's another thing I have the privilege of. I don't have to worry about taking care of my family. I don't have kids. Like right now, it's really just me. So I'm a pretty easy person to take care of.
You know how to make yourself happy.
Yeah, I know how to make myself happy. So and just go to your point before of like realizing you don't need that much. When I come back to like New York sometimes, for example, I almost like get right back into that like American mindset where it's like consumerism. It's like, wait, I need this. People are asking like about what I'm doing, like status is so important. Like you immediately get into that mindset, and it's making me think, okay, maybe I should have like nicer clothes or nicer this, or like so people view me differently. But when I'm out in the world, it doesn't even cross my mind twice.
Right.
So I think that's interesting. And also one more thing I want to point out with Scott, it's when you were saying you like were feeling like some imposter syndrome, as someone who's been following you guys since you started, and you guys have always been inspiration to me. So it's also like you've always seemed like so successful, and it's interesting to hear like how you guys also had like some self-doubt, because from an outsider's perspective, for someone like me who's just following your story, I'm like, wow, they're doing great. I should like do some more stuff like they're doing.
Maybe we should show more of the behind the scenes from the beginning then of like, are we doing the right thing?
I would say less and less more, but still on somewhat of a regular basis, there are days where both of us are just like, what are we doing? Like, I think just recently, some of it's due to our schedule. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know what I'm working on. I don't know, some of it is like with the kids, like having 2 now, and it's like, I'm a little lost. Like, but yeah, they're frequently, we're just like, I don't know what, it's not working. Like, this isn't, and then you got to go back and you got to, be your own cheerleader. You got to, we haven't as much recently, but we used to we tried to have our quote quarterly meetings, and it would be us going to a bar and just celebrating our wins and being like, oh, we did this, we did that. And because you don't have a boss sitting you down being like, you did this, you did a good job here, or and even in the workplace when you get older, like the boss, unless you have a really good boss, they're not doing that for you. So you got to be your own cheerleader. It's the grind. It's that being able to like stay focused on your goal, not get distracted. If it's the happiness, if it's seeing friends, whatever it might be. When you were talking about you want to talk? You want to ask her a question? One thing that you were talking about, like the materialistic thing. We've definitely had that where we go to the city or we go see friends, and it's like all of a sudden you're like, is this what I was supposed to do? I feel uncomfortable. Like I thought I was doing all right.
Like the life that could have been.
And
yeah.
One thing, inevitably, no matter what you were doing, even if you were in the corporate world, there's going to be someone who you would see and be like, oh, I guess I didn't work hard enough. Like even if you were in that grind. And the other thing is, have you ever noticed, like when we were traveling a bunch and we're out and about, let's just say in the Airstream or like in a van in New Zealand, and then you come back to an airport, how you are inundated with ads and materialism right away. Have you noticed that?
I haven't taken note of it, but I'm sure that happens to me all the time without even realizing. It's just like
like when you're out in the just away from cities, you don't see billboards, you don't see ads, you don't see all this like, oh, you need perfume, oh, you need these clothes, and then you come back and it's just everything. A visual cacophony of like oh my God, like I guess I do need that. Like I can remember what I used to do is when you'd walk through. This is in international airports. You have to walk through the duty free area. Oh. And I always hated that. I would literally look at the floor and just get through it and then get into the airport because it's just constantly like alcohol, chocolates, this, that. And I'm like, I don't want to see it. I just want to walk through.
I think I'm good at blocking out things. I gotten so accustomed in those years of living off of $10,000 a year. I got so accustomed of just not buying things that it became part of my habit. So seeing things I don't even tell, I'm like, oh, whatever.
That's cool. A good habit. That's a really good habit. I want to talk about one of the things you do during your summers is work on the Yacht Week. Yeah, which is so awesome. We've been on the Yacht Week. We love the Yacht Week. How did you get involved with that?
Yeah, Yacht Week 100% changed my life. I originally went as a guest when I was 23 years old. And then when I was planning my around the world trip, I was like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to like work on Yacht Week just as part of the experience? So that first summer I worked on Yacht Week was just for like shits and giggles, just to like have fun while I'm traveling. And what Yacht Week is, by the way, it's like this big sailing flotilla. So it could be like 30 to 50 boats sailing around at the same time. Like each boat has a group of friends together. You're sailing during the day, partying at night. It's very social, very international, good vibes. And my role on Yacht Week, I was a hostess. So the chef. Mind you, I never cooked before I started.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, when I told my mom I was going to be a host for Yacht Week, which means I have to cook and clean, she's like, cook and clean? Who's going to do that? So I'm living proof anyone can learn how to cook, because now I am like, my chef name's Quesadilla. Like I will throw down. Like don't you worry.
I've seen the spreads on Instagram. They look legit.
Yeah, I can throw down now. But yeah, I've worked Yacht Week for 10 years. Wow. And that also kind of goes into like going to something that you don't really like. I didn't really have much experience for, but then fully leaning into it. And I absolutely love the job. You get to meet people from all over. That's why I talk about my global network. I really got a global network. I've been to like weddings in India. I'm going to a wedding in Nigeria. Like it's it's a job, but it's fun.
Yeah.
We did the adult version of Yacht Week. You did real Yacht Week.
I did real Yacht Week when I was 23 as well.
But then we did their adult version, which I don't know if they still have, but it's called Yachts and Friends. And
they kind of.
Yeah, kind of. I think it kind of fizzled out a little bit. And then, but we reached out and we still like text that group, and it's been like 5 years.
It's been 7.
7?
It's been 7 years.
And what's funny is we messaged, because the captain and the chef were like, "Are you guys texting other people?" Like kind of joking. And he's like, honestly, he goes, "I did for a while, but this is the only group where I still keep in contact with the people, and it's still going strong." So it's been
that was in the Aeolian Islands, and I saw you were just in Sicily.
I was just there. I just came back from Sicily like 2 weeks ago. There's something about being on a boat with people that really just connects you. Like there's something there.
It's a make or break.
Yeah, you gotta like the people.
Yeah, that's for sure. Close quarters.
Yeah, it's something that it's on our to-do list at some point. We're not sure how or when, but we're like, when can we take the kids on the boat? And I know people have done it from, there's the Le Vagabond, the YouTube family who've done it like since they were little, but it's like, we're not prepared to do that just yet, but we will. I'll get them to you.
Yeah, I think they should be better swimmers. I don't know. He's not going to go anywhere at this point, but how many countries have you been to? I don't like that measurement as like a status thing, but I'm like so curious because you've been all around the world to some of the most obscure countries, it feels like.
I'm in the 80s. I think I'm around like 83 or so. I do want to go to every country in the world before I die. That
Yeah.
is like that is a goal of mine. I'm in no rush. Cause it's not just like, I don't just want to go to a country. I want to be hosted in every country I go to. Cause I think you get a very different experience when you know, when you know someone, like
Yeah.
whether there's couch surfing or like, cause the way I like to travel, it's not just like going to see like the sights and things. It's like, no, I want to like be invited to someone's like house for a meal. Like that's my version of travel. Um,
That's a really good way to look at
love
it.
that.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, if you're ever in New Jersey, you're always welcome.
Thank
It's exotic here. We'll make you some great Italian food.
there we go. Yes.
you know what's interesting? I think I know people. Oh, it's Jersey, blah blah blah. But like, if you're not from this area, especially if you're not from the States, like there's a lot of very cultural, rich things that you could show people.
Yes.
A lot of it has to do with food and
Yeah.
like explaining some of the traditions because it's Italian American.
Yeah, we have a lot of immigrant families here, which is beautiful. Like, I mean, my family immigrated here to New York, New Jersey, and then you have a lot of Polish people and Irish people and Italian people, and
So it's not like the Amalfi Coast, but there is some neat things. I mean, there's the shore. You can always take people to the coast.
Jersey Shore. I know. You know, I'm from Jersey too. I grew up in Jersey.
Wait, I didn't know that too. We have that in common as well.
Yeah, I'm a Jersey girl.
Oh my goodness, what part?
I grew up in Summit, Union County.
Oh my goodness, our son
Summit.
is named Summit. Yes.
Not after Summit County, but
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, we're in Morris County.
There we go. Jersey pride.
yeah. So you know,
Pride,
so
that's
you
right.
so you have. Is your family still here?
I know my parents are retired in South Carolina, and all my siblings are in South Carolina too.
Yeah, that's cool. So you think you will actually reach the, what is it, 200? Is it 203 countries?
I think the UN, like most people go off the UN one, which is like
Yeah.
193 or 194.
Okay.
So
you think
that's
you'll
what I'm
actually
shooting
go? Okay. I would say we don't have that ambition. Yeah, we've been like
at this point.
Not at this, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think we did our journeys, we did our travels, and there's still a lot of stuff we want to see, and like we want to take the kids to see the things that we saw. But I think our like to-do list isn't like, I don't know, it'll change as the kids get older, but right now it's not that long. It's just like
I think
fun.
it's like sharing our favorite places with them, with this, these new eyes. That's really special. You're very vocal today.
I mean, I don't have kids, but I have parents, and I like sharing, like taking them to places I've been before. Like that's really
Something
special to me. There's something very special about sharing those moments.
Now, do your parents? I feel like it's typical with any traveler. Like, do they just forget how to live life once you take them to travel? Like, I feel like there's like the ongoing joke where most parents, it's like all of a sudden like they can't navigate a city at all, and you're like, does that happen with you, or are they pretty good travelers?
They do need to have like they're very different travelers than me. I consider myself a type B traveler, right? Which means I don't plan anything. I just like I land. I might not even have a hotel booked. Like I'm gonna figure it out.
Coco's nightmare.
Yeah, my dad, he needs everything planned like 2 months prior. So like it's a little stressful for me. I'm like, okay, let me plan, like, because he's leaning on me. I'm like, okay, it's like, did you get the hotel yet, Kesi? I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm finding the hotel. Don't worry, it's coming. So they're just like they're just more like planners, I would say.
Yeah. But I feel like they probably trust your process a bit at this point.
Yeah, they trust me. They trust me to be their guide.
As you can see, who knows what your future holds, but like for us, it's just chaotic. We're in my office, and it's like try to get by, and I guess that's also kind of our story. Is like we have kids, and it's going to be a little messy.
Yeah, it's going to be chaotic. I mean, travel is like, as much of a type A person as I am, and I like to plan everything. It's like travel's almost like my practice in letting go, because it's like I know that stuff's going to go wrong, and so I'm like, I know it's going to go wrong, but it's going to go wrong during these 3 weeks of the year. It's almost like I'm planning for that. Or I'm like, okay, on these days, we're not going to plan anything. Like, it's planned to not do something. So, I don't know. It's my way of practicing to let go.
Honestly, I think that's one of the best things that also benefit of long-term travel is adaptability. You have to learn how to adapt to things, because things will change. Things will go crazy. And I'm that weird person when things go bad. That's when I'm in my element, like, ooh, let's see how we're gonna get out of this situation. Like
Tell me a time when that happened.
Oh, there could be like, just recently when I was in Sicily. I landed in Sicily on the day when there were train strikes. So I need to make my way from the airport to the marina, which you thought would be like kind of simple, but no, since there's no trains, we have to figure it out. So we try to get a bus. We just make that bus. He drops us off somewhere. We're in the wrong spot for the next bus. We have 5 minutes to catch the next bus. And like, this is why I like when things go awry. There was this Italian lady and she's like, she helped us. She's like, you guys need help? She's like, well, I have my kids in the car. I'm not sure if I can drive you to the next bus station, but maybe I can leave my kids here. My husband will come. We can leave the kids. Like, she was like, like, you get to see like people like truly being so kind and nice to you. Eventually we all just like got in a little car together. Like we squeezed in with all our bags. We pulled up right when the bus was coming. So then we like scurried onto that bus. And once again, we got dropped off in the middle of nowhere. And we're like, how do we get to the next place? We could either walk for an hour or like try to hitchhike. And we went to a restaurant. We found a guy. He's like, you know what? He was trying to call a taxi. He's like, you know what? I'll just give you guys a ride. So we made it to our destination. It might have taken all day to get there, but through the kindness of strangers, we made it. And that's kind of why I like when things kind of go awry. It's a part of the story. It's a part of the journey.
Yeah.
I love that. I was also following along on this journey on Instagram stories and loving it. Like you were in like random cars. I'm like, what is she doing?
It reminds me of one of our first trips when we started our trip. We were in Buenos Aires and we get in the taxi and we tell them where we want to go. And was Uber around then? I forget. I don't know if
we're
Uber
that
was.
old.
Yeah. And at least it wasn't down there. And we told him where we want to go and we thought he understood. And all of a sudden he starts driving. And we're like, where's he going? Because it wasn't supposed to be that far. And all of a sudden, we're like, sir, are you going to the right spot? And we couldn't talk or communicate to him. And then all of a sudden, we're like, you got to let us out. And the guy just let us out in like the middle of nowhere. Well, it was a gas station, but the gas station was
a gas station.
He's like, good luck getting a taxi, and basically just like drove off. And so we go in the gas station.
And it was midnight.
It was midnight, and we go in there, and similar thing. Like we start talking to the people working there, and they're like, I don't know if a taxi will come out here. They try to call some people. We're trying to talk, communicate. And all of a sudden, I think it was just like their friend just showed up and there was, drove us home and we got another visitor.
Yeah. We love more visitors. But yeah, like I love kindness of strangers. Trust strangers.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Little 3-year-old came in again. She really wants, she's not feeling well. So
Yeah.
That's okay. But
yeah, it's just like the kindness of strangers. I think if you open up your mind to that, the world is a good place. And I know that's weird to say if you watch the news because they paint it out to be really bad. But overall, no matter what the news says about a country, its people are good. I think that's something that I have recognized around the world. I mean, we heard a story about someone from Iran being afraid to visit Detroit. So it's like, because of the news that they heard about Detroit. So don't listen to the news, listen to the people. I mean, same thing with like kids when people are like, I don't want to take my kids here. And I'm like, kids live everywhere, right? Like they exist. And I think it's about changing that mindset and trusting that same trust that you have in yourself. Like we can trust other people too, to an extent. Talking to strangers can be good. Said the mother.
Said the mother, yes.
Oh, well, so 80 plus countries, where have you been surprised? Or can you be surprised at this point after 80 countries?
Yeah, it's also a recent place I've been to. China. China blew my mind. So recently they have, I think end of last year, they announced a 10-day transit visa to China, which means you don't need to apply for a visa. And I'm like, so when I found that out and my friend called me and I'm like, I'm in Thailand. He's like, hey, you want to go to Hong Kong? I'm like, no, I want to I'm not trying to travel right now. He's like, what about China? I'm like, ooh, let's go. So it was a really impromptu trip to China, planned 2 weeks before I flew there. And I just think the innovation in that country, because especially being American, we kind of viewed China as this socialist, communist, they're watching everything type of place. They can't like everything's cheap. No, it's China's awesome.
Yeah.
And they are so welcoming to foreigners. I've never felt so loved and beautiful as a Black woman. Like, uh, people like I wouldn't realize, but like if I would walk by, people were saying things like, "Oh, aren't you a beauty?" Like I'd have to like get my Google Translate out and things like that. So I felt very, very appreciated there. And going to like even like the big tourist attractions there, like the Avatar Mountains. It's a huge tourist attraction for like Chinese people. So like for me, it's cool just to see the mountains in itself, but it's also cultural to see like how are these Chinese tourists acting like here. Like that's also kind of a spectacle to see how they do things because it is different and it's fun. And I think sometimes when you see Chinese people abroad, might come off as like rude or things like that. But like when you're in their country, like you realize that like there's a freedom there about like I could be talking to like the cutest little girl, like they invite us to like come to karaoke with us for like chatting, and then all of a sudden she just like spits on the floor and like keeps talking. Like it's like I'm like at first you're like kind of like what, but like there's kind of like a freeing in the sense that like they don't care as much about what people will think of them versus like other East Asian countries like Japan or Korea, like they're very aware of like how they're perceived. So I think there's that. I think it's kind of like a freeing place in China where like you could be like do what you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. I think everyone should go. I think China's going to blow up with tourism, especially since they're getting it easier for people to go and visit.
And what cities did you go to?
I went to Chongqing. That's like the cyberpunk city. So cool. Like the city doesn't make sense. Like you think you're on the bottom level, you're on the 27th level, and like you get Google Maps. I was constantly lost. Like you never know where you're going in that city. And then I went to the Avatar Mountains. And then I went to this small place on the East Coast because I met a random guy in Dubai 2 weeks prior who lives in China. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to China. Can I come visit you? And he's like, yeah, sure. And that was a funny experience because he was from Rwanda. So he's a Black guy who speaks fluent Chinese in this area where there's like no foreigners. So he's kind of like a celebrity there. So when we showed up, we had a film crew like following us around.
Wow.
That's wild.
So they were just like filming like things for like China. Like, we were just like on live stream the whole time, like on Chinese TikTok, and they were so excited to have like another foreigner there. Like they were like paid for everything. They like paid for all my meals. Like it was like full day. So if you go to China, find like a smaller town to go to because you'll be treated like a queen.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, we it was on it. We almost went and then didn't, and we haven't been.
We've been to Hong Kong and Macau, but not mainland.
Go to Chongqing. Chongqing. Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
The tourism board needs to pay you. You are promoting it. I love it.
I should.
So I have one final question for you. If someone who has never left home is listening to this travel podcast, where is the first place you would take them?
Ooh, oh man, that's a great question. I think the first place I would take them is Southeast Asia, because for a first-time traveler, I think it's a good place to like get out of your comfort zone. There's a lot of things that are different, like culturally. The costs are a little bit more affordable. So, and there's also a lot of travelers there. So it's used to tourism. And just like it's different, it's cheaper, it's fun. So yeah, I think Southeast Asia would be.
Can you imagine taking like my dad there? It would be
A bit of culture shock.
Bit of a culture shock. Yeah.
I love that. Get people out of their comfort zones. Yes.
That's the point, right? That is the point.
I love it so.
Now, tell people that are listening where they can find you on social media and on your website and where they can travel with you.
Yeah. So my biggest platform is Instagram. My handle is Kesi to and fro. I also have my group trip page, which is Follow the Fro Tours.
Oh, Follow the Fro. Okay.
And if you want to join some future trips, I have my hunter-gatherer trip in November. We're keeping that really small. There's a couple spots left there. I have my El Salvador trip in January, and Antarctica 2026, 2027. That's going to be vibes. And we'll see what else. There's always little trips popping up here and there. But
Yeah, you gotta follow
the pro.
her.
Follow the pro.
Exactly. Follow the fro because you're going everywhere. And I'm sure that some of the listeners are going to love to travel with you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you're learning from and or enjoying this podcast, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. These are great free ways to support this podcast. Also, please subscribe to this podcast on both Spotify and Apple. On both of those platforms, you can leave us up to a 5-star review, which would help us out greatly. Please also check out the sponsors mentioned in today's episode. That's the best way to support this show. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, please put those in the comment sections in YouTube. And yes, we do read all the comments.